Powerkites predate kiteboarding by about 10 years and are still used today for all kite traction, Powerkite activities on land such as snow kiting, kite landboarding, kite buggying, and even kite skateboarding. I've created this video today to show you some of the key product features and benefits of Powerkites available today to help you select the one that best suits your needs. Let's start by talking about the size of the kite. It's important first to think about the size of the kite and how it pertains to your goals and activities that you plan to do. The larger the kite, the more power it generates. That can be exciting and it is necessary for some activities such as snow kiting. If you're planning on snow kiting, you want to get a larger kite, a 5 to 7 square meter kite. If you're planning on using the kite for other land traction or possibly a trainer kite, then a 3 or a 3.5 square meter kite is best suited for that need. When we talk about the size of the kite, understand that we're referring to a number printed on the kite and on the kite bag. That number is generally the surface area of the kite in square meters. So a 3 is a 3 square meter kite. You may also find that smaller trainer kites in the 2 square meter size will also refer to the wingspan of the kite, not the square meters. Be aware of the information you're looking at and how they're measuring the size of the kite. Select a larger kite for snow kiting and a 3 to a 3.5 square meter kite for general traction kiting and for a trainer kite. Trainer kites are simply a smaller version of a power kite with a control bar, and they emulate the movements of larger power kites. This allows you to perfect the fundamental skills needed for kite control and various other activities with little to no consequences associated with larger kites. So when we say trainer kite, we do mean a power kite, but we mean specifically a power kite with a control bar to guide or aid you as a stepping stone or training tool toward larger power kites. So I'm going to now show you a variety of trainer kites / power kites. I'm going to be starting with the depowering foil because it has the most significant advantages over any other kite, and then we'll walk through a 4-line kite, a 3-line kite, and a 2-line kite. The first thing I'm going to show you is a depowering kite. This kite has the most features and is really the best choice for any recreational power kite activity. It is the most expensive, but we'll start with that first, and then I'll show you a 4-line kite, a 3-line kite, and a 2-line kite, so you can decide which one fits your needs the best. A depowering foil is the most feature-rich and is the best choice for any power kiting activity. It offers significant advantages over any fixed-line kite and is clearly the best choice if your budget allows. Let's talk about why it's the best choice. A depowering foil has the ability to control the kite's power. It can do that in flight even, so you literally get twice the usable wind range from this kite as you do from a fixed 4-line kite. Here we have an apex 5-meter kite, which would essentially replace a 3-meter and a 5-meter kite if we were talking about a fixed line kite. How is this possible? The way it's possible is because the control bar has a hole drilled in it and the line actually passes through it. Now, a depowering foil requires the use of a harness because you're hooked into the harness and your bar now can move away from the pilot and toward the pilot on this line. That's what we refer to as a depowering power kite, or sometimes we use the word sheetable foil. That refers to the same thing. When you're flying the kite, you can push the bar away to decrease power from the kite, and you can pull the bar in to increase power from the kite. So this is a lot like having shocks on a car. When a car goes over speed bumps, the shocks are absorbing that impact. In flight, it's changes in the wind speed or gust, and I'm moving my hands much like shocks operate on a car to give you a smooth delivery of power at the pilot's end. So having this is incredibly safe, gives you a wider wind range, and essentially makes it easier to do all power kiting activities. In addition to moving the bar away from you and towards you, you also have a trim strap which allows you to adjust the power of the kite manually based on the wind speed. Every significant change in the wind speed, you can adjust the length of the strap and it regulates how much power the kite has. Now, this feature is not a standalone function of the bar. It also requires a depowering foil kite with a special bridle that is interacting with the bar system. So you can't upgrade a fixed line kite to a depowering kite. You have to actually buy a depowering kite to fully take advantage of these features. For snow kiting and any power kite that's going to be 5 square meters or larger, you really need to have a depowering kite. I suggest the Apex or the Montana Powerkite by HQ Kites. Excellent kites. Next, I'd like to show you the Rush 200 kite by HQ Kites, which is a 2-line kite. With 2 lines, it's extremely simple and extremely affordable. The main advantage and only advantage to this kite is its affordability. About $129 gets you all set up with a 2-line kite around 2 square meters. If you can only afford a 2-line kite, this is a great place to start. Next, I'd like to show you a 4-line kite, which is a fixed 4-line kite or fixed bridle kite. This is the Scout 3 meter by HQ Kites. With 4 lines attached to the kite, 4 lines attached to the control bar, it gives you the most kite control available. Essentially what happens with 4 lines versus 2 lines is the kite will turn considerably faster, it will respond better on the edge of the wind, and also reverse launch off the ground when you crash. So it's far superior to a 2-line kite. Now the Scout is a little bit unique in the fact that it uses a unique leader line off the bar to increase that leveraging even more, so you get even more control with the kite. A 4-line kite is a much better choice than a 2-line kite, but it is going to run you a little bit more money, about $350 for the Scout 3 meter here. A few years ago they invented 3-line kites. 3-line kites are great because they're a good compromise between the control of a 4-line kite and the affordability of a dual-line kite. This is the Rush Pro series by HQ Kites. I have 2 sizes here, the 250 and the 350. Let's take a close look at how a 3-line kite works. The lines on the outside of the bar steer the kite, one on the left, one on the right, and then we've got a 3rd center line here, and that 3rd center line is what's going to allow the kite to reverse launch when it crashes. It's also the safety mechanism that allows the kite to collapse when you activate the safety system. The advantage of a 3-line kite is it's a little more affordable than a 4-line kite, about $100 less than the Scout 3 meter we just looked at, but offering significant advantages of reverse launching and activating the safety system over the 2-line Rush series. In 2008, HQ invented the Hydra Powerkite. The Hydra is a 3-line kite, but it's very unique because it can crash and relaunch right off the water. This allows you to take your Powerkite and training kite into the water for even more exciting exercises to practice. How does the Hydra crash and relaunch off the water? It's pretty remarkable. The way this works is the opening of the kite is completely sealed off except for these portals. This is where the air enters the kite and inflates it and gives it its shape. Now when the kite crashes on the water, there's a sock inside of here that collapses due to the internal pressure from the kite being stronger than the outside pressure being exerted, and it seals this off and allows it to float on the water like a floating air mattress. It allows you to water relaunch it. This is fantastic because now you can take a very affordable 3-line kite to the water and do things like kite kayaking, body surfing, or even a little stand-up paddleboarding with the Powerkite. At the end of the day, if you want to take the air out of the kite, there's actually a waterproof zipper on the back of the kite, and that will allow you to let the air out at the end of your session. I highly recommend the Hydra 350 as the Powerkite of choice. It's very affordable, ranging about $300 to $350 depending on the size. That's the Hydra 300 and the Hydra 350.